What would you have done though if he had said, that's just my mom?
You can't do those things and focus on anxiety at the same time.
Right. I think it's so misunderstood.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fascinating Womanhood channel, where we talk about everything that has to do with developing femininity and building loving, long-lasting relationships. I'm Dixie Ann Forsyth, and usually we do these together with my daughter Cherry, but there's so much going on right now for her and for me, we couldn't get together today. So we sometimes do them separately, and she answers questions really good, and I hope I do too. Welcome back to another Mini Monday. We do these on Mondays, and what they are is just a shorter version of our videos where we take questions from our audience and we try to answer them as best we can here with the limited information that the question has. Keep in mind, we don't know all of you personally. I wish we did. And so we take these questions and try to answer them as best we can based on the limited information that we have here. So today I've chosen a question that I thought was very interesting and good, and I'll have to read it. My question is, what can I say or do, if anything, when my husband constantly corrects things that I say? I never try to show him up or say anything that might seem disrespectful. It's usually just an innocent comment I say about the weather or an upcoming event or memory. Oftentimes, I try to say something at the end of his stories to show that I was listening and interested. He corrects even the tiniest detail that I've gotten wrong, and it's been happening so often lately that it's beginning to annoy me. It also really throws a wet blanket over a lighthearted conversation or a good laugh. For example, we love the movie Encanto, and I was reciting a line from it that made the kids and I giggle. And my husband flatly told me that I mispronounced the character's name. Sometimes he corrects me, and I know he's wrong with his information, but I don't say anything back. So far, I've just been able to shrug off my mistakes, but it's getting to where I hesitate to say things around him because I feel like he'll just put it down. Thank you. This is really interesting to me, partly because I have a personality a little bit like his in the sense that I like to know what truth is. I like to know what is true. And he may be like that too. And my husband calls that a truth seeker. And I noticed she said that lately. We live in a time right now, and it's all over the world, where there's so much stress and so much information that's put out everywhere, over the internet, on Facebook, on YouTube, on news outlets, social media, everywhere. It's hard to know what of anything you're seeing or reading is true. And so for people who like true things, sometimes in order to feel like they have some kind of grasp on what's true in this world, they kind of tend to pick on things that they normally wouldn't, in this example of the movie Encanto. They pick on that because it makes them feel like this is true. This I can count on being true. In response to your question, understanding him first is going to really help a lot. What might be going on with him? Because if he's a truth seeker, if he likes to know what's right and true, he probably doesn't mean to do that, but it's a way of like this I can grasp, this I can know. So what can you do? Well, one thing that you could try is and when he says something, when he corrects you, go with it and say something like, I'm so glad you said that. It's so great that I can always count on you for telling me the correct thing and the accurate thing. And I know it seems like it's going to get worse, but it does tend to validate their feelings and seemingly understand them. They tend to not quite be so picky, and makes you feel kind of invalidated. I know it does. So another thing you can do is when he says something and corrects you, instead of, and I know you don't get into it, instead of the temptation to belabor that point, you can just let it go and say nothing. And your feelings are, I understand him better. I think this is where he's coming from. And as you understand a person, the things they do that otherwise annoy you don't so much. And when they don't, it's a tremendous sense of freedom that you feel, freedom that you don't, that this thing doesn't have to really get on your nerves because you understand. So when you understand a person, the more you do, the more you can kind of validate them and understand that they didn't mean that there was something wrong with you, but maybe more they're trying to search for what's true in a world where it's hard to know what this big pile of information, how much truth is actually in it. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for writing it in. Thank you for all your questions. And don't forget to look down below and our products, our books, our workbooks, and the Love Journal is really helpful. And really, we created it for ourselves to record our wonderful things about our husbands, ourselves. See you next time on Mini Monday. Take care.